Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to show you how to make a natural probiotic recipe, super healthy with just 2 ingredients. You're going to love it. You know that probiotics are very important for proper gut function, for weight loss, for our immunity, and even for the production of neurotransmitters for the brain. And a lot of people look for vegan probiotic recipes, like this one I'm bringing you today, so you're going to love it because it's super cheap and very easy to make. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss it. If you love easy, quick, and healthy recipes, you're going to love this channel, so go ahead and subscribe. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates. I post new videos every day, and you're going to love them. So let's get started on making our natural, healthy, and vegan probiotic recipe. Remember, I also have other natural probiotic recipes here on the channel. I have a video teaching how to make natural yogurt, which is a probiotic. There's also a video showing how to make milk kefir, but those two aren't vegan, so I also made my fermented apple recipe, which is both probiotic and vegan. And now I'm making this sauerkraut recipe, which I personally love. I think sauerkraut goes really well with salads as a filling for natural sandwiches. It also works great as a side for meat, chicken, fish. I even like it as a snack. So tell me, do you like sauerkraut? Have you tried it before, or are you making it for the first time here? And if you like these vegan probiotic recipes, go ahead and leave a like, and I'll come back and make more recipes like this for you. So, the first ingredient we have here is red cabbage. Ideally, we should slice this cabbage very thinly. And now with the cabbage finely chopped, we need to add a bit of salt to the cabbage. This salt plays a very important role. It will draw the water out from inside the cabbage. So it's more or less like when we typically use vegetables such as eggplant or when we use zucchini and we want the naturally present liquid within the vegetable to come out. Salt has this ability, and this is important because the liquid that will be drawn out of the cabbage will create a brine here. And this salty brine will ensure that the beneficial bacteria present in the cabbage can grow and thrive much more easily. Because the bacteria responsible for fermentation are anaerobic, so they can't be in contact with oxygen. If the cabbage comes into contact with oxygen, other microorganisms can grow, even fungi or mold. So the best thing to do is to add the salt and wait at least an hour or even longer if you can. Look, it's already starting to release liquid. Not even 2 minutes have passed and water is already coming out of the cabbage. So we're going to wait here for about an hour before moving on to our second step. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, so it's been about an hour and a half here, just so you know. Now let's move on to preparing our sauerkraut. One important detail I didn't mention is that I used red cabbage, but you can use white cabbage, yellow cabbage, whatever you call it. Any type of cabbage will work, no problem at all. So look, I'm going to grab a plate here and place it underneath. I grabbed my jar, and it's really important that you sterilize this jar well. Wash it with soap and water, then let it boil in water. Just like we do with a baby's bottle to make sure it's really clean. Let it dry upside down on another very clean plate. That routine we already know. Look, we're going to start filling our jar here. If any falls outside, that's okay, because everything is clean. Later we can just put it back in here. Let's keep adding our cabbage here. So I'm going to put all of this in here and then I'll add the rest. But before that, I just want to show you that I'm also going to add some black peppercorns for seasoning. I don't want to use ground pepper because I just want the flavor to infuse without making it too spicy. I'm also going to add some mustard seeds here, which is very traditional for sauerkraut, but you can use whatever you like. And I'll keep adding our cabbage here. Let me fill this up well, and I'll be right back. Hold on a second. Look, we carefully press it down like this with a spoon, and then we take a fresh cabbage leaf that you didn't use previously, and you gently place it in here at the very bottom to effectively seal it off completely, ensuring no leakage. To create a seal here so the cabbage doesn't float up, because there's already some of the water that it released while marinating, but I'm going to add more water here so that it covers all the way to the top. Because, as I told you, it needs an anaerobic environment for the bacteria to grow. So if there's air here, if the cabbage comes into contact with air, it can get moldy. I've already explained this to you. So we do it like this. Put the cabbage in, press it down like this. And we fill it with fresh, clean water here until the shredded cabbage is completely covered. And we then place a plate on top here, or a lid, whichever you prefer, to allow it to properly ferment. It will take about 7 or 8 days to ferment, And it's a good idea to always keep a plate underneath, because as it ferments over time, it will produce carbon dioxide here, and some of this water might rise enough to spill over. I still left a bit of space here, but that's always better than making a mess in your cupboard. So put it in the cupboard, closed and dark, and when the time has passed, I'll come back here to show you how it turned out. Look, 5 days have passed here, and I'm back to show you my sauerkraut, my fermented cabbage. You can see here that there's a bit of water on the plate because it actually fermented. We can even see it here in these bubbles that formed on top. It shows that carbon dioxide was produced. Look, there are some bubbles here in the middle from the fermentation. That's why I said to leave the plate underneath. I'm going to take it out now so we can see how it turned out, and I'll give you a few more tips. Look, I switched plates here so it wouldn't have that mess on the bottom to make it look nicer for you. I'm going to take this top leaf off here just so you can see how it turned out. But you can eat this leaf too, no problem. It's also sauerkraut just the same. I'm just going to take it off here so you can see the texture of the shredded cabbage underneath. That's what will really look like sauerkraut, the way we're used to eating it and everything. Look at this. The color is beautiful when we use red cabbage. The smell is really delicious, just like real sauerkraut. And speaking of the smell, if you've never made sauerkraut before, just so you know what to expect, at first it has a bit of a funny smell because of the fermentation process. But later, it develops a more pleasant aroma, really smelling like sauerkraut. So don't be alarmed, don't stop the process. That's exactly how it works. That's what makes it turn out right. I'm going to put a lot here so you can see it better. Look how beautiful that is. And you know, this is packed with natural probiotics, beneficial bacteria that are good for your gut. We know that the gut is our second brain. It's very important for our health, our immunity, and for the production of neurotransmitters. I have a video where I talk more about this. I can't even remember if I've already mentioned it. As for the taste, I'm going to try it here and tell you more about it. I'm really looking forward to trying it because I love sauerkraut. I love it with meat, with pork. It works really well. Remember that I also have a video here on the channel talking more about pork, about the best cuts, the healthiest ones for you. I'll leave the link down below in the description. But of course, it also goes really well in a sandwich, to complement your salad or for those who are vegan. So it's really up to you. My mouth is watering because I love this kind of food. In fact, one salad I really like is to take sauerkraut and mix it with a bit of yogurt. I have a video here, as I mentioned, explaining how to make natural yogurt. It turns out really great too. You can eat it plain too. Tell me how you're going to eat it because I love seeing your comments, ideas, and inspirations here. As for storing it, because it makes quite a lot. We're not going to eat all of this at once. Well, you could, but it does make a lot. So you just close this jar right here. Since it's clean, put it in the fridge and it will last a long time. 1-2 months, however long it takes, no problem, because it's already fermented, so its shelf life is extended. In fact, it's really interesting to think about how these fermented foods came about. They were originally created as a way to preserve food for much longer periods of time, especially before refrigeration existed. Sauerkraut, for example, has German roots and was traditionally used to keep cabbage fresh after harvest, allowing people to enjoy it even during the colder months when fresh produce wasn't available. Kimchi, on the other hand, which comes from the East, from Asia, is another wonderful example of how different cultures around the world found natural and creative ways to extend the shelf life of their food while also enhancing flavor and nutritional value. So, even better is that there's no waste, we don't lose money, which is really important nowadays, for our wallets and for the planet as well. I'm going to taste it here and let you know how it is. Go ahead and leave your like, because that really helps me, and share this with someone who will enjoy it, with someone who needs it. Let's work together to spread this chain of good. That's what I want here on the channel. The seasonings truly make all the difference here. It's really mild, very flavorful. If you like it more tangy, let it sit longer because it's just like kefir. The longer you leave it, the more acidic it gets. But this one is amazing. If you're just starting out, it's mild, perfectly fermented, delicious, and well seasoned. Make it, you'll love it. See you next time. Bye.